Well, hello everybody. F1 is finally back on the channel. Perfect timing. Here is my return to Formula One Nitro Racing League today on the channel. It's been a long time since I've done one of these races, but I'm back. If you guys have no idea what I've done in this league before, I've won 2 championships, 30 wins I think I have in the Nitro Racing League for the F1 side. Way more successful over here than I am on the NASCAR side, and I was excited to get back to it. And I decided right now would be the perfect time because I'm bringing F1 2021 Career Mode to the channel tomorrow morning. So I hope you guys are excited for that as well. This is on F1 2020. We're finishing out the season on F1 2020. I'm not going to bother showing any points because we're not really running for legitimate points, but you're definitely going to see the rest of the season here on the channel leading into the F1 2021 Nitro Racing League. So here I am trying to put up a good qualifying lap, and I kept invalidating my time, unfortunately, so I didn't get a good lap in until quite late, and this would be the actual lap right here I'd put in. I should mention, like I said, I'm starting in F1 2021 career mode tomorrow morning. It's going to be driver career, not my team. I love the my team concept. I just personally do not enjoy playing it, so I'm going to be doing a driver career, and I'm hopefully going to be able to bring in some mods here and there and whatnot, and just do whatever I want with the series, and I hope you guys will like it, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun and great game, so I'm very excited for that. But this was my fastest lap of the qualifying session, so we're heading down this final little straight. As you can tell, I didn't even mention we're in the Sochi Autodrome Russian GP race here for the Nitro Racing League. So we came through out of the final turn. We actually went P1. It was a pretty decent lap. It was a 131 flat. We can only run preset setups in the Nitro Racing League and F1 and both NASCAR. So we qualified pole, and by just over a tenth over Matt, who just won in the Nitro Racing League on the NASCAR side as well. So we come through into the race starting P1. I warned everybody. I said my start's going to be terrible. I am not known for having good starts in F1, as well as I haven't made a start on here on F1 at all in like 7 months, and this start was so terrible. You're about to see. We go from P1. I thought originally I was going to be okay. I was not. Andrew gets past. Gale Force gets past. Another Matt in the league, by the way. And then Matt Mahu goes by. And then Matt O'Brien goes by. So we just got passed by 3 Matts down into the first few corners. And then I go a little bit wide right here. I didn't feel safe staying right behind Mahu. I thought I was going to run into the back of him. Fortunately, I don't get any invalidated time. We are running strict corner cutting in the Nitro Racing League here. So you got to be very careful. And there's going to be a lot of penalties handed down. It's very easy to get a warning and penalties in Russia now. So actually I pulled back once again right there. I went off track, but I didn't get invalidated because I really let off the throttle to let Tyler get in front of me. But I fight back here, a little bit of a switchback on him. Unfortunately, I can't quite make it work in. You could tell this is my first time back on F1 in quite some time because I completely forgot to use ERS here in the first couple laps of this race. You're just seeing that yellow bar just stay completely full because I like I said, I completely forgot about it. So unfortunately, I lost a bit of time because of that. I almost got into the back of Tyler there. Matt got into the back of Matt, I believe, and lost his front wing on the Williams, or lost the majority of it. And now I was making a move up to the right-hand side of him. He was trying to pit here. I was unaware of that, so I messed him over. And unfortunately, he would miss the pit lane because of me. So he would have to stay out a whole extra lap. I felt a little bit bad about that, but we came through to complete the first lap, and we were down from 1st to 5th. And then here on lap 2, it got a little bit crazier. So Gale Force actually disconnected. He's in the race for the title fight against Andrew Wisdom right now. And Gale Force has made a few starts in the NASCAR Cup Series on Nitro, and is actually primarily an Xfinity Series driver. But right here, out of the final turn on lap 2, I make the big mistake on the day. I spin it around, I bend it, and now I would have to get the car back going in the right direction. So it was looking really good for my F1 return to the Nitro Racing League. Turns into heartbreak right off the bat, as we are now down to P11 as we get back going there. We got passed by the Renault of Blake, so we had a lot of work in for us here if we were going to get a good finish. I was still aiming for a podium. I knew I had obviously race winning speed, and that would only be validated more as the race went on, that we were clearly the fastest one here, but unfortunately we just kind of made too many mistakes. And now we come through to lap 4, and we had already had some drivers pitting. There was Eagle in the Alfa Romeo coming in. We got back to the back of Matt Chaffee, another Matt here in the Haas. A bit of a moment right there. I had DRS, and he kind of pulled out in front of me. I think he thought maybe I was trying to go to the right, but instead I was just trying to stay to the left. So just about had to run in with him, but fortunately it didn't turn into anything. Now on lap 8 of the Grand Prix, we're up to P6. We're slowly working our way forwards, but right there I get my first 3-second penalty of the day. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Now I wasn't too concerned with 1 3-second time penalty. Gale Force, by the way, he had gotten back into the race. He was once again on track racing instead of his AI being really slow for him. So he had now come into the pit lane. I was surprised we were able to run him back down, especially after we had spun out. So I was pretty happy with that. I should mention, I completely forgot about this as well. We are teammates with Matt O'Brien on Red Bull. Once again, the Nitro Racing League owner. We're teammates with him in F1 and, of course, in the Nitro Cup Series for NASCAR Heat 5. But I was getting ready to come into the pit lane myself. We had taken over the lead for a lap just because we stayed out longer than everybody. I originally was planning for around lap 11. I decided to come in on lap 12. I could have easily went to probably lap 17, 18, maybe even to 20, but it just didn't make sense to do that. So we come in and we put the medium tire on off of the softs, and Andrew, Matt, Gale Force, they would all go by, and so would Puck Drop, a fellow Canadian, in the field now as we were back underway here in Sochi. So trying to run down the Alfa Romeo driver. We still have that 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, and I was not expecting it to get any higher because I was like, okay, I'm doing a pretty good job remaining in the track limits, but I would actually be proven wrong. You'll see very soon. So now to the back, though, of the Alfa Romeo here on lap 14, already halfway through this race here, and it was pretty clean overall. We were having a nice, strong, clean race. No chaos on lap 1. Of course, with my really bad start, it kind of messed over a few drivers like Matt Chaffee and the Haas. I know he said something, got him put back from my poor start, but here was really my favorite move of the race right here. We had some DRS right to the back of the Alfa Romeo down the front straightaway, and of course full ERS into overtake mode, and we send it up the inside right there in the turns when we complete the pass clean and get back going here. And sure enough, up into P5 we go as we try to run down Gale Force again. In the AlphaTauri, the virtual safety car had actually come out, I believe. So what happened was someone had crashed their car, left the race, and it caused a virtual safety car. Unfortunately for myself and Gale, it ended at a terrible time right there, and we were right in the middle of a very slow corner section, so we gave up at least, I think it was like 8-9 tenths of a second right there. So now, though, I get another 3-second penalty here on lap 17 as I was trying to get to the back of Gale Force now, as I would now get the DRS on him, though, down this long back straightaway. We would be able to propel ourselves now up into 4th place, but you can see on the timing, Gale Force has no penalties, so we have to pull at least 6 seconds on him if we want to get a podium. And I knew we were going to get a podium because Tyler was up there in second currently, but he has 12 seconds of penalties. But it was, of course, going to be hard to pull away from Gale Force. So Matt would get in front of Tyler. Tyler was really falling off. I guess he was having some controller issues. He couldn't feel the car or anything. Jay went and set the fastest lap after I had set the fastest lap. So I wanted that extra point to get that fastest lap. But now we would run down Tyler in the McLaren, pass him, and move up into P3. But it's not actually 3rd. We're really in 4th right now because of Gale Force. So closing in on the final few laps of this race, and another 3-second time penalty from a simple little mistake like that right there. 9 seconds of penalty. So now I really knew we weren't going to be able to beat Gale Force on time. So I thought, you know what? I really don't care if I can't get the podium. I don't care if we give up one extra spot to Tyler instead and end up 5th instead of 4th. So I decided, coming to the last few laps of this race with 2 laps to go, that I'm going to come in and put on a fresh set of soft tires and try to set the fastest lap of the race here on the final lap of the race. So Andrew Wisdom still leading the way as we came through to start this final lap here in the Russian GP. And here we go. We only have one opportunity to set the fastest lap now. Matt O'Brien, by the way, was running down Andrew Wisdom here late in this race, but unfortunately they both had time penalties. Andrew had 3 seconds, Matt had 3 seconds. If Matt didn't have his 3-second time penalty, he was going to win this race, but unfortunately for him, he had made that mistake, got the time penalty, so it was going to have to settle for the 2nd position. Obviously, you can see Tyler has actually picked up even more time penalties. It's like 18 seconds at this point, and we are at, what, 9 seconds. So if we want to beat Tyler, we need to have that gap below 9 seconds or so by the end of this final lap. So we set the fastest time in the 1st sector, and I was shocked to see I even had a chance still to somehow get 9th place. It was going to, of course, be very, very hard to pull off, but I was giving it everything here, of course, just going for that fastest lap. I didn't even think there was a chance to get 4th place, but I realized it right at the last moment when we look at the timing here. So Andrew Wisdom, though, sure enough, gets the win. We set the fastest sector 2 time as well as we come through the final sector here in Sochi Autodrome now. So looking very strong in terms of getting that extra point so far, and we're going to get a solid P5 Still frustrating because we could have won this race, so I was a little bit disappointed about that. But you see the gap now, just barely over 10 seconds into the final few turns here to Tyler, but it's not going to be enough now. Into the final turn is 10.2 seconds. We come through to cross the line. We set the fastest lap on the day with a 1:33.169. We take that extra point away from Jay. Unfortunately, I didn't want to take it away from my literally best friend, but we ended up doing that. So Matt gets driver of the day. I forgot to record the post-race stuff, so I'm going to show the finishing order right here. You can see it. So we end up getting P5, less than a second behind Tyler because of his penalty. So that was my return to the Nitro Racing League. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to be showing the rest of the season for the races that I do. Like I said, we're not in the mix for anything, but it's still been a blast. And before we end it, of course, I want to say thank you to the Going Racing members on the channel of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, King Matt XL, as well as Jacob Murray. I appreciate you guys' support so much. And once again, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.